In the last video, we showed you how to talk to Python having a conversation with Python. Well, the truth is, we used Python as a calculator and taught you some rules about order of operations. In this video, I'm going to try to have a conversation with Python by using text. Now, normally text, we call them a string. So, numbers are numerical values, and we will learn there's two different types. And then we also have a string. Now, let's try to say hello to Python in a way that it understands. If we enter the word hello, but this time, however, we enclose the word in single quote characters. As I told you before, in Python you can use single quotes or double quotes as long as you are consistent. If we say hello and we press enter, this time we don't get any errors. Python just echoes the text that was entered. If you compare this with the behavior we saw when we entered a number, you'll notice that in fact Python did the same thing. Previously we entered the value 2 in Python and echoed 2. When we entered a text value, Python echoed the text. The next thing we try to do with numbers is adding them. Let's try to do that with text strings. If we add two numbers, Python will calculate the sum. Let's see what it does with two parts of text. Hello. Plus world. I think you saw this example previously. Now, if you don't put spaces in between on either side of the plus, then it will produce a different result than it should do. So I'm going to put a little bit of space in between to see what happens and press enter. Wow, the spaces didn't really seem to matter to Python. And once again, it said hello world and echo, but right now what it did is to join both strings together. This is nice. Python is behaving exactly as it will expect. We know that when we give Python a sum to work out, it calculates the result and then it returns it. We use this to add 2 and 2. Now we have discovered that we can also use the same procedure to add hello to world. There's also something clever going on inside Python in the way that plus, the addition behaves, is correct for both numbers and strings. If we ask Python to add two numbers, it returns their sum. If we ask Python to add two strings, it returns one string added to the end of the other. Now, what happens if you miss a closing quote of a string where you're typing? For example, if we just said hello and press enter. It says something like syntax error EOL while scanning string literal. A string literal is a string of text that is literally just there in the text. The letters EOL are an abbreviation for end of line. The Python shell is saying that it doesn't like you to put line endings into strings. Python regards individual operands, like numbers and strings, as things that are not allowed to span multiple lines. There's nothing wrong with creating a text expression that spans several lines. You can try this if you want to, but Python does not allow the operands of that expression to span multiple lines. So, what do you think will happen if you try to subtract one string from another? Let's see. Once again, we put single quotes around the word hello, but this time we're going to use subtraction instead of addition. And then we're just going to put the word world with quotes and press enter. Well, look at that. We got a traceback or an error. Python is clever enough to know that while it's perfectly sensible to use the subtraction behavior to mean subtract one integer or number from another, you can try this if you like, It is not sensible for a program to try to subtract one string or part of text from another. Let's see what it does with numbers. You see that? For numbers it worked just perfect, but for text we're not able to do that. Adding a number to a string is silly as subtracting one string from another, and so you will expect Python to give you an error. For example, let's see what happens when we add a string with a number. Wow, my typing is just getting worse and worse. Hello plus 2. Now press enter. Well, there we go. Hopefully this time the message should make a bit more sense. However, Python is saying that something must be a string, not an integer. As you can see here, it tells us that the error is on line 1. And concatenation means addition. As we see here, we did use addition. But it's saying the problem is with the string. If we want to use addition, we have to either add numbers together or integers, in this case, numbers that has no decimal point value, or we need to add the strings together. str stands for string. int stands for integer. So what do you think it will happen if we try to multiply a string by a number? Let's do that. Let's put hello in single quotes again. But this time we're going to multiply that by 3. Wow, look at that! Python will try to do something sensible when it can. This expression still works if the order of the operands is the other way around. Python will also do something sensible if you try to multiply a string by 0 or a negative number. What it does, it repeats the same word 3 times. Did you see that? If you look carefully at all the text and numbers data types that we have that above, you'll notice that when Python evaluates a numeric expression, one that creates a number as a result, it returns just the digits. But if it evaluates a string or part of text, it returns text enclosed in quotes because Python obeys the rules about how various kinds of data are expressed. Python enforces separation between numeric data, such as the number 2 or 3, and text data, such as the string hello. The way values are stored and the effect of operations on them is different for each data type. We will learn about data types in the next videos. Humans do the same kind of thing. We talk about washing our face, washing the dishes, or washing a horse, and although the action would be fundamentally the same, we are washing something, what we actually do will be different in each case. Of course, brain power and experience is just what a computer doesn't have very much of. So when we write a program, we must be consistent about the way we express what we want. The design of Python and other programming languages for this to happen. Alright, now we're going to write our first program. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to File and click New File. So I get a new screen that is brand new. And then I'm going to type print, and inside of it, in quotations, I'm going to put hello world. Now we're gonna save what you have created in your desktop. Make sure that you save it in a place that you can find it. Remember the directory that we created before called practice? I'm gonna save it in here. But this time I'm gonna name the file hello world.py, and I'm gonna click on practice and I'm gonna save it there. Look what happened. Our text editor changed the color. Print turned out sort of like a lavender or purple color, and our text string turned green. We can go into here and open the file that we have created. Go to the desktop. I go to practice, and now I'm going to choose the second one, hello world, and I'm going to open it. You see it's still there. You can click on run to run it on the Python shell. Make sure that you save it. Well, look what happens. When you run it, it will show in Python as hello world. We just created our first program. In the next video, we're going to be talking about employing variables and types of data. I'll see you then.